snow. But I'm not too concerned about my blizzard because I have more layers that I have to paint on top. So the next stage would be then to draw the tree. And what you'd be drawing is where you want to mask off the white snow on the tops of the tree. So if you are somebody who haven't drawn a lot, you're best to, you know, do a bit of a planning drawing first. Next to wing it, and you can kind of draw with your masking fluid. You don't have to do the drawing with the pencil first. So this is masking fluid. It's a liquid latex rubber, sometimes called frisket, and we paint it on to cover up the page and hold the color that's there. So our whites are going to be this soft aqua creamy color in some spots, right? Instead of a pure white. And what I want to do to apply that is to use a really inexpensive brush. Like this is a white nylon hair. It's, you know, stained over the years, but it comes as a white nylon hair. It's only a couple of dollars. This brand Premier is really affordable. So I just want to use a cheap synthetic brush, but also to help me give myself a little more life out of this brush, I'm going to dip the brush in some liquid soap. Okay, that's why I had the dish soap out there. So I just dip.
Used to be laundry soap.
So any kind of,
what was the name of that
any
soap?
kind of liquid soap.
Yeah, liquid soap.
Right in there, and then I'm going to want to blot it off. I don't want a ton of soap on my brush, just a little bit. And I don't want my brush really wet either, because I don't want to water down the masking fluid. So, and that just helps me, the brush just extends the life of the brush a little bit longer if I dip in the soap first and then I dip in my masking fluid. And I'm going to paint wherever I want highlights. So I can paint the tops of the trees. And oh, you know, unfortunately, this color is almost the same as what we're the color of our painting, so it's going to be hard to see. Some of them have a yellow color in them.
I think I've got some white. Would that make any difference?
No, this is fine. I'm just saying it's going to be hard to see where it is. Like when you see it on the white page, you can see it's blue. We're painting on the same color. So, you know, this takes some patience. Mask off where the snow is. So we're going to take some time just doing that. So I would go along and paint my white shapes of the snow that's sitting on top of the branches, right? So you're going to have to observe those shapes you see in these photographs we're using as a guide. To look for what shapes you're seeing that the white is.
Yeah, those little feathers at the bottom. Sort of
yeah. So that's one of the things with masking fluid. It'll look really stiff if you're not careful. So it's good to like get the color, the shape, and then maybe just soften the edges for some of those the peaks, right, of the branches. So we're going to take some time to do this, and it's worth taking some time. And then every once in a while, you're going to rinse your brush, clean it off, blot off the excess water so it's not sopping wet, dip in your soap again, blot off that extra soap so it's not, you know, totally soapy, and then keep going. All right. So you can choose whether you want lots of snow on the boughs or whether you want only a little bit in a frosting. I want to show you something else too. If you want a lot of detail, you could use a tiny little brush, right? For some of the really tiny, you know, peaks of the branches, or you can use this thing called a ruling pen, and it allows me to draw really thin lines. So I'm going to just zoom in a little bit on this. All right, let me get it. Here we go. So this ruling pen, this is what we used to use to draw with ink years ago, before AutoCAD, before technical pens, before felt tip markers. This would be what we would use. So these tips you might find in an old compass set from, I don't know, your grandfather or something. You'd find one of those.
A wheeling.
It's a ruling.
Oh, wheeling.
Ruling pen. And you can actually draw with the straight edge. You can dip it in paint, or you can dip it in your masking fluid and be able to draw with a straight edge on it.
Oh.
So you can get different thicknesses of line with it. So if I turn this screw, where's my camera? There we go. Open up the distance between those two prongs and get a wide line. And if I tighten it up, I get a thin line. So it's great for using with masking fluid and or the paint if you want to draw lines. It's called a ruling pen. So ruler, like ruling, R-U-L-I-N-G, a ruling pen. So and I find it's great with masking fluid because it's metal. I don't worry about my brush getting clogged up.
Yeah.
And it just wipes right off. So if I want to do some fine detail, I can dip in there, right? It holds it in between the prongs. And to draw with that, so this is really nice if I want a lot of fine detail. I've done like fine feathers, fine grasses, cat whiskers, right? And it takes a long time. I know it's a little hard to see because we're painting on the same color.
You need to put it down so that both tips are on the paper. Is that what you're like?
Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta zoom back out a little bit. And maybe angle my camera differently. There we go. So to draw with it, I need both prongs, both sides of the metal tip have to touch the page. So, Cynthia, do you want to come around to the end?
Am I squeaking the chair too much?
Yeah.
Do they sell those pens at
Uh-huh.
the store?
Yep. So if you wanted this kind of detail rather than this other photo, right?
Mhm. Oh,
Oops.
Oh.
good thing it's on the tape.
On the tape, wouldn't matter. It would just,
Yeah, I have to pull it off.
don't worry about it. We're good. So,
Oh, yeah, dry up and peel off.
yeah, we just dry it and peel it. So don't worry about it. Okay. So wreck your cloth.
Okay.
So that could be done if you want fine detail. Okay. And you just let it dry on there and pull it off. There's no problem.
Like,
Okay.
what, will that part be white? Yeah. So
It's
it'll
gonna
be the
hold-
fine detail, like, yeah, okay, I got
Like
it.
if you
It's still
wanted-
gonna be, it's masking fluid, so
See,
it's
like
gonna-
this tree right here.
Yeah, right,
So we
all
wanna
by
do that?
itself.
If I painted all of that
Yeah,
with a
yeah,
fine brush
yeah.
or the ruling pen,
Yeah.
it keeps it this light greenish
Great,
color. And then we're going to paint over that, the dark underneath,
Yeah,
and it'll
right.
hold that shape, right? So if I want to
Yeah,
do this
so it
tree in the
stand up.
foreground, this would really do a nice job of that,
I
right?
like that.
Yeah, it's really nice. It takes patience, but this would be a really great way to do this because that would be really impossible
Yeah.
to paint around, right? But
Mhm.
if you paint the shape first with the masking fluid, it holds that shape, and then you just do a wash over top with the dark blue,
Yep.
and you're done, right? So
Right.
now we have to take a bit of time, sit and do some drawing with masking fluid. So what we can do is pour a little bit of this. If you don't have your own, we can pour some of this
I
into
have
your
some.
paint tray. Okay, this last week it dried up on us. It was all thick. Now, do not use your good brushes on this stuff, right? It'll wreck your good brushes. Make sure they're cheap brushes. The water that you've been rinsing in, you make sure you throw that away because you don't want to put your good brush into this stuff.
No.
It'll wreck it. And I like that brand you have. This brand here. This is a really nice brand. I really like the Windsor & Newton one. It's a really no longer, it seems to me.
Do you have any other cheap brushes that we could use?
Yep, I brought a few
I
extra.
have the brush.
Okay.
Great.
So a little bit of liquid soap really helps the life of your brush go a little farther, right?
Okay.
Okay. So let's all sit and do some masking for a while. Let's see. Here's a couple of cheap brushes. So which one would you rather have? Use that one? Okay. And then do you need masking fluid?
No.
You have some?
I need a little liquid soap.
Okay, so you just squish a bit of liquid soap somewhere into your tray. And remember after to rinse, to clean out your tray after.
Right.
So the liquid soap should be in the kitchen there. It's in the kitchen. It's in the kitchen. Yeah. And I noticed that, like, once it dries, you don't know it's in your tray. And if you have soap in your tray when you try to paint, it disperses your paint rather weirdly. So it's a good idea when you're done today to rinse out your tray in that spot. If you're one of those people who likes to reuse your tray. So if somebody wants to try the rolling pen, you're welcome to borrow it.
Pretty cool tool, but it's used to putting it there for painting it, for doing direction and stuff.
Yeah.
How does it stay in?
Just hold.
Huh.
I use it for watercolor painting. Like if I want to draw a
Will you
line.
be using these colors again?
Yes, keep them in there. Yeah, we're gonna use them. Are your schedules flexible, folks? Because, yeah, I'm just thinking since we kind of had a late start, are you guys able to stay later?
I am.
What about you, Teresa?
Are you able to stay late, Teresa? Are you able to stay late tonight?
Because we started late, can you?
I can. If
Yeah, I'm happy to do
I
that.
can, I just have to call my husband.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to make sure you guys got the time you paid for. No, I don't mind. Yeah. You can see why a lot of people like to paint around.
Oh, I gotta clean the, do we take the salt off? Do we take the salt?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Wipe your salt off. A bristle brush on the table here. You can sort of scratch off sideways. You can scratch it off and wipe it away.
Oh, I
Like
have a
that.
palette knife.
So a plastic palette knife will help you rub it off. One with a bend to it is ideal, like this, Cynthia, because it does
Yeah.
the bend and you just scratch. Here.
Oh, that's salt you can do really well.
You like it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Meredith. Good to see you. That was Meredith Blackmore I was just saying goodbye to. She's an amazing painter and great art teacher too. And she taught color theory and a bit of painting to our summer animation students last year. Might like to see if she can come back again. She was really good.
Is she a qualified?
She's actually from Fergus, I think. She teaches in a few different places and does private lessons too. She's excellent.
The salt?
Yeah, scrape the salt off before you put the masking fluid on.
You took your salt off.
Yeah, I kind of forgot to say that, sorry. So you can just sort of scratch it off with a plastic palette knife. Sometimes stiff bristle brushes will also take it off. I find it needs to be scraped off though. It really sticks on.
It left some blots of water. Should I just blow the grab those off?
It left water?
Yeah, because like the water cooled around the salt.
Oh.
Tiny drops.
Yeah, you don't want any moisture on your page when you're putting masking fluid on. That's important. So you can see I'm just painting away here. So I guess what we'll do is I'm going to stop this broadcast right now and then we'll restart it later. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit more what I'm doing here, closer up.
Oh, it's gonna come out so fast.
Oh dear. It's really expensive.
Mhm.
I wanted it for the school because it's just so good, but I just thought I cannot spend that much. We have to watch our budget.
I'm just doing my little thing freehand here.
Yeah, just because I don't want to draw it and then have to. There's a little spoon. You can try to scoop it back into your jar. It's a bit of a waste, isn't it? Just be careful you don't get it on your clothes, because if you get it on your clothes, it does not come off.
Just use this or use.
I have
Oh, you
my
have
own
to
app.
use it.